Welcome to International Definition. My name is Kenneth Freelain, and I'm going to be your host for today's edition of International Definition. Today on International Definition, we're going to feature the International History Week Awards ceremony for the year 2006. During the International History Week, there are two things going on. First of all, we're recognizing historical anniversaries. And in the second place, we're giving awards for achievements in various categories. One of the historical anniversaries that we're recognizing this year is the 150th anniversary of the University of Maryland. And we have a graduate of the University of Maryland here with us today. Mrs. Barbara Bryce is an author, and she has produced several fascinating books, which we'll go through. Barbara, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you for asking me.
Great, very nice. Let me ask you the first question. What motivated you to write children's books?
Well, I love children of all ages, from just born to 110, and I love writing.
Very good. And why did you pick the topic of a prince and a princess owning pets?
A couple of years ago, I was asked to do a clown show at a toy store. They weren't able to pay me, but they told me I could pick anything I wanted, and I found a puppet theater. And the theater was in the shape of a castle, and it had two puppets. And that's why I decided to choose that topic.
Very good, very good. How did you pick the names of the animals?
Some of the animals were based on animals that I had when I was a child. Jojo the pig is my middle name doubled, and some of them were just made up.
Where did you get your illustrations?
I got them from Jupiter Clip Art.
How long does it take you to write a book?
It only takes a week or a little bit more to write the book. However, it takes a long time to coordinate the pictures, get it formatted the way I want it, get it bound, and ready for your enjoyment.
What age do you think that kids would be in order to have an interest in these books?
I believe a child about 3 or 4 would enjoy hearing the book. I think a child about 7 would be able to read it, him or herself, up to about 10. However, I do believe adults would enjoy it too, because it is happy, it is educational.
Well, that's a question I wanted to ask you. How would the books be educational?
There is one section in the book that talks about eating healthy. There's a section that talks about the alphabet and the alphabet in rhyme. There is a section about the importance of knowing numbers, especially your own phone number, and knowing the emergency numbers 911. And it has some other educational things too.
And what are the titles of these books?
The first book is The Royal Pets. It introduces the prince and the princess and their 14 pets that they have adopted, and it talks about how the pets do the right thing. They clean the room, they eat their vegetables, and they obey their parents.
Unlike a lot of children.
But there are some that are good. The second one, More Royal Pets, introduces more pets to the royal family, and it talks about various different things that they do as a family. The third book, a royal edition, which my husband seems to like the best, talks about how the prince and princess are going to convey to all of their animals that there is going to be a child in the family and how they are going to relate to it. And one of the cute parts of the story is the cat will say, Well, if it cries, I'll wipe its eyes. And the bear says, I hope it looks like me. And it has other cute things and how they are going to get along with the addition of the family. The fourth one, The Royal Chimney and Santa, is somewhat based on a true story. A few months ago, we heard a lot of commotion in our chimney. We thought it was birds, but we found out it was raccoons. Now, when the royal family finds there's raccoons in the chimney, they're all concerned as how is Santa Claus going to get down the chimney. The fifth book, The Royal Children Go to School. They start school for the very first time, and it talks about they're going on the school bus, meeting new friends, trying to interact with other children because they're from royal families, and they want to be treated equally and the same.
So who's your publisher?
Right now I have self-published my book. I've sold several copies to some of my friends and acquaintances. However, I would love to be published, and if there's any publisher out there that is interested in these stories, I would surely welcome them.
Well, how can a publisher or someone in the audience contact you?
You can either call me at my home at 301-445-4318, or you can email me at bbryce5@AOL.com.
Well, let me ask you, do you have any other comments that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Only that I wish that you would try to get your children interested in reading, whether they're my books or other people's books, because reading is educational and relaxing.
Very good. Well, I'm pleased to present you with this award for your achievements and for your publications. And I hope you'll continue on your path, and we'll have you back on the show again in the future sometime.
Thank you. May I read this?
Yes.
It says, Creative Writing Award presented to Barbara Bryce in recognition of your outstanding academic achievement and exceptional performance. Congratulations. And it's signed by Kenneth W. Freeland. And I thank you.
Good. Very good. And once again, I would like to point out that Barbara is one of 3 award recipients that we're going to have this year. She is the award recipient in the Literary Achievement category. You'll see as we continue the other 2 areas. And we're also going to talk about another historical anniversary, and that is not only is the University of Maryland 150 years old this year, but this year is actually the 150th anniversary of the birth and the 100th anniversary of the death of the first president of the University of Chicago, a man by the name of William